Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
Huh? It's a house!
Did you hear what I said?
It's a house!
There's mosquitoes the size of bald eagles in that dadgum swamp.
How's it going? There we go. Alright, well, we're doing a little earlier show tonight. Alright, so everything's still the same though. So maybe on this show I was thinking maybe we could raise, if you guys donate, whatever we get in here, I guess like try to do like $500 or something, then I'll donate the $500 to, probably that fund for the three girls. I forgot what the name of it, but we can just look it up and donate there. So we'll see how it goes. Depending on how it goes, I guess not. But anyways, when I was doing a walk today, Amber sent me something, but we don't know if it's true or not. I actually was going to put out a video, but then I paused it and I go, how do we know this is real? And it was on the is it this one? Yeah. So this source, I don't know, this article, this, anybody can write an article on this hub pages, all right? So anyone can write an article here. So we could read what it says, and if it's true, then it sucks, but take it with a grain of salt, okay? Because I don't know. Oh, the names are back to the @ symbol again. Yeah. There it is. Anyways, right here it says, sources admitted mass murderer Brian Kohberger, sources admitted mass murderer Brian Kohberger has consented to sit-down interview. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know if this is just somebody out there trying to, but I mean, if this is true, Brian Kohberger has consented to a no-holds-barred sit-down interview this fall. According to a well-placed source. What does that mean, well-placed source? Okay? Sources. Well-placed sources. I mean, how does somebody on hub pages get a well-placed source? Admitted mass murderer Brian Kohberger, 30, will give a first-hand account of his actions on November 13, 2022. Kohberger pleaded guilty to 4 counts of first-degree premeditated murder, crime. Let's see. He admitted to the crime he was prosecuted for, thus putting an end to the highly anticipated murder trial set to start in August in Boise, Idaho. Kohberger will be formally sentenced to life without the possibility of parole on July 23rd, 2025. The primetime non-cable network interview will coincide with the 3rd anniversary of the grisly murders of 4 University of Idaho students in Moscow, Idaho. Kohberger already admitted to unlawfully entering the students' off-campus house at 1122 King Road through an unlocked door and systematically murdering Madison Mogan, Kaylee Gonzalez. I don't know if it was systematic, According to the state of Idaho, Kohberger targeted 1 or all of the students and used a military-type K-bar knife. Yeah, we know that. Okay, according to sources, it was the Kohberger family that convinced Brian Kohberger to consent to the interview. Amanda Kohberger, 37, has had to move back to her parents' home in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania. Both of Kohberger's older sisters, Amanda and Melissa, were working in the mental health care industry. All right, you guys. I just said a minute ago, whatever we do in here, we'll send it into the charity, and we're at 0. I mean, how often did that used to happen in here? When I'd say that, it would be like, oh yeah, bing, 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 boom, we're done. Now it's just, yeah, whatever. All right? You guys know how on this channel we raise funds to help support, that keeps my channel going, and then also we give money to various true crime related charities, and tonight I wanted to match whatever you guys sent in to the I think it's the charity for all 3 of the girls. We sent 1,000 into the Ethan Chapin one already, and then also 1,000 to, I believe it was 1,000, might have been 500, but to the fund for the 3 girls. All right, but if you notice, we're still at 0. Not sure how that happens nowadays. It's wild. All right, so let's see. Melissa, it says, has had more, according to sources, I'll just start over again. It was Kohberger's family that convinced Brian Kohberger to consent to the interview. Amanda Kohberger, 37, has had to move back to her parents' home in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania. Both of Kohberger's older sisters, Amanda and Melissa, were working in the mental health care industry, ironically. Is anybody here? It's just dead as a doornail. One was terminated. The other resigned shortly after their brother's arrest in December of 2022, according to sources close to the family. They hope with Kohberger setting the record straight. All right, they hope with Kohberger setting the record straight. It's really poorly written, too. Like, there should be a comma there, All right, they can move forward and resume their once very productive lives. So apparently it's like a 6-figure. They all feel as if they have been under siege and subjected to unfair, endless wrath from the public at large. The Kohberger's family will receive a 6-figure sum, so that's anywhere between $100,000 and $999,999. Thanks, Emily Marie and East Texas Grandma. Now, I don't know what your actual names were. If you were like a regular here, they changed everybody's name back to the non-vanity name. Kohberger will turn 31 on November 21st. Oh yeah, it says the Kohberger family will receive a 6-figure sum for providing never-before-seen pictures of Brian and the Kohberger family. The network
Let's wave in memory of the
students. Network have. It should say
emoji.
has.
Ocean wave emoji. Ocean wave emoji.
Lots of errors in here. The network has, or maybe, let's see, the network have bought, I don't know which one is right there now, the rights to use the pictures during the interview. I think it's has. Kohberger will turn 31 on November 21st, 2025. The interview is set to be filmed in person once Kohberger is processed and sent to a permanent prison. All the legal issues between Kohberger, his family, and the network have been ironed out. Well, how would they have done that? If they're ironed out, and this is true, then this would have happened before there was ever a plea. I mean, it takes a long time to work through those. Oh, the Tonko is way up by my head over there. Can you see it? It's really small.
Taco stomp for Ethan, Anna, Kaylee, and Maddie.
Yep. Hey, thanks, Love Boston and
Call it let's do a Friday wave
DDWM
from DM.
Sandy Shirley, East Texas Grandma, Emily Marie, and there you go. I missed somebody.
Hi, freaks. Heart hands emoji.
Freaks. All right, cool. So it says no questions or topics are off limit. So unfortunately, and sadly, these organizations, if it's not
Wave emoji.
if it turns out it's not a cable network, then it's going to be either ABC, NBC, or CBS, right? And unfortunately, those clowns, they never ask all the right questions. Like, I would love to sit there and say, listen, ask this, all these things, and then you'll have all of the pieces of the puzzle put together. And then they'll probably ask questions, and he'll say things that we would all want to know. How much you want to bet you got? Let's just say this is true. If he did all these, I can't, you know what? I just don't feel like it's true. Like, the judge wouldn't allow this, you know? But let's just say it was. Does anybody think, I bet you if the interview was done by one of these networks, and they asked all the questions, and they were asking questions, and when they edit it together for television, they would leave out all the stuff that we want to hear, right? Or like, not all of it, but like a lot of the stuff that really would answer questions, they wouldn't know that it was important. So they would edit it out. So if they ever do that, I hope they release the, you know, the uncut version or something.
Ocean wave emoji. Ocean wave emoji.
And by the way,
Ocean wave emoji. Keep the wave.
it made me
Heart
wonder.
Emoji. Red heart emoji.
Well, thank you.
Heart emoji.
If it's true, it made me wonder if, I mean, it almost feels like, I mean, is that why Bill Thompson didn't interview Kohberger? Like if it's true, right? And, you know, and then also just everything that Steve Gonzalez said is absolutely coming to fruition, if it's true. Yeah, so, I mean, Kohberger will turn 31 on November 21st, 2025. The interview is set to be filmed in person once Kohberger is processed and sent to a permanent prison. And I'll tell you what, though, if Kohberger, I mean, if Bill Thompson has not and did not, curate a whole conversation and like tell us exactly what happened in detail, our investigators, we want to have the answers and fill this in, then he didn't do his job to society. You know, and the thing is, what are trials for? I think trials are for they're for a punishment and to get answers for the family. So in this case, he got a lesser punishment than a lot of the family members would like, and they got no information from the killer himself. I mean, it's just stupid. So, I mean, regardless if this is true or not, if they didn't interview Kohberger and get all the information that they needed, then I think it's just an absolute dereliction of duty almost. Just sick. Right? What's G's argument? What does that mean? Yeah. It's just an argument. Right. Well, it's true, though. I mean, the thing is what, you know, Kohberger is the killer. You admit that, right, Eric? Do you think his health was frail? They brought in that young lawyer towards the end. I know, they brought that young lawyer in. Why didn't they just pass it on to him? I mean, I don't understand. I mean, Bill Thompson, I don't feel like had the right to do what he did. You know? I mean, I guess technically he has the right, but ethically and morally, did he have the right to do that? Just seems like he just caved in. And he probably is one of those wishy-washy, oh, I don't know about the death penalty. I mean, I know we have it, but I don't really. And so he didn't want to do it. I mean, wouldn't it be crazy if this is true and then he didn't get the information from Kohberger, wouldn't it be in the interest? I mean, this is totally conspiratorial here. I admit it, but like you would pay Thompson not to ask. Like this media company, ABC, would pay Thompson not to get the information from Kohberger because they want it all fresh for their interview and documentary later in the year. Yeah, you wouldn't want it like, oh, well, we already know that because they interviewed Kohberger. How's that for a conspiracy? But that's pretty crazy, right? I mean, that's what pops into your head because of, how this is going down. It's stupid. Hey, we have no channel memberships tonight, you guys. There's people in here that aren't channel members. Right. Yeah, it's not worthy noise, though. It's just a waste of time. Let's see. Kohberger will turn 31 on November 21st, 2025. The interview is set to be filmed in person once Kohberger is processed and sent to a permanent prison. I mean, but how has this all been dealt with already? See, that's why it doesn't feel true. Like, man, you have to get him into prison, start communicating with the warden and all that crap. You know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't just be, oh yeah, we've already worked through the legal deal, the issues, right? He is expected to be housed at the maximum security prison in Kuna, Idaho. He could also be transferred to an out-of-state prison. Or, they said Parson. Out-of-state Parson. Yeah, well, I mean, he could have been transferred to an out-of-state prison. But see, isn't that weird then? How would they have made a deal already? How's the deal already made? Hey, thank you, CRRR123. And thank you, Michelle H197. Richard Watts. And Rich Watts, I appreciate all, you're always here every single night. Typing all caps, he's been doing it for years. He's the only one that we allow to type in all caps. Hey, thanks, Wonder Woman. Yeah, if this is true, I'm not saying it's true. I think it's like 10% possible, but it is an article out there. So, They say the tentative air date of A Killer Speaks, a voice from the shadows, is set to air on Friday, November 14th, 2025. How do you know what date it is already? And up above it said it was on the anniversary of, let's see. Yeah, the primetime non-cable network interview will coincide with the 3rd anniversary of the Grizzly murders. Well, the murders happened on the 13th. So there's a lot of errors in this document here. Typos and things. I mean, I understand typos. I do them all the time. Let's see. Victim family members divided on Kohberger's guilty plea. Out of all the family members of the 4 Moscow, Idaho students, Kaylee's father, Stephen Gonzalez, has been the most outspoken. Well, the thing is, I think it was, which is interesting because in the special, I mean, put a 1 if you watch the special. Started watching the first 2 episodes last night because it became available at midnight. And then I watched the other 2 in the morning. I actually thought the first 2 were the better. There was really, they went over and talked about the Papa Rogers, but it was no different than any of the Papa Rogers stuff that we've talked about. And by the way, you guys want to see something? Couldn't I have been a psychic? Here, look at this. Watch this. I'll show you here. This is pretty cool. I didn't even realize that I did this. Yeah, look at this. See this? And they will all be animals. This is me from this. I think this is when I had my neck surgery or something back in. Let's see, the date of this is December 25th, 2025. What was the status in the Kohberger case in December of 2025? See, when you use common sense and logic. But what was the status? So look at what I put in here. Idaho 4, is the killer an incel? Compare mentally of Elliot Rodger. I don't know, I should have said 2, but but you see right there? I actually did that comparison in a 3-hour live stream. And I didn't say 2022. It's, hold on, where's the... No, it's right there. It's streamed live December 25th, 2022. Isn't that amazing? It's right there. And it even says 2 years old right there. And then when you I don't know if you can see that when I scroll over the right here. Can you guys see that pop up down there? It says December 25th, 2022, which is 4 days or 5 days before he was arrested, right? We didn't have a name or anything. And it was just like, man, is this guy like an incel type? Comparing him to Elliot Rodger. Now, I don't know if that's because we'd heard about the Papa Rodger comparison or whatever, but I think that's pretty cool, isn't it? That's way before anybody else was talking about that. Let's see. Not to toot my own horn, but I just happened to be looking that up today and thought, let's let me see what the date is, when I talked about that. And it was actually before an arrest was even made. Oh my God, eat glass. What does that mean? What does that mean right there? Is that a cut down or somebody on rewind? He is expected to be housed at the maximum security prison in Kuna. He could also be transferred. And down here, Gonzalez has also complained about the process the district attorney in Latah County was engaged in. Right. I mean, we don't need to keep going over this one. But yeah, when you watch the documentary, that's what it seemed more like, a documentary. That what was amazing is it seemed like the Chapins and like Madison Mogen's parents, they were like the main focus of the parents. As a matter of fact, that's the only parents that were in there. There were the Xander Kernodle and Steve Gonzalez. They were not in there. And what's ironic about it, though, is those are the two parents sets that were okay with the plea deal. And then when you watch it, you could tell that that's what they would be leaning in life. Even though this was filmed way before any of this, you could hear it in the way that they talked. Like every day it's just a burden. Like we have to, I haven't gone. One of the parents, Ethan Chapin's parents, had never gone to one hearing. They weren't going to go to the trial at all because it's just they can't do anything about what happened, and so, oops, God dang it. Is that it? Huh. Yeah, there we go. Wow, that was a miracle. All right, so right now we're at $62.58. I want to try to get up to $500 in here tonight, and then I'll send $500 into one of the scholarship funds, probably the one for the 3 girls. All right, so we're at $62.58, and we got 2 members, so that's really $72.58. So if you're out there watching and you want to be part of that, that'd be great. We've already given both the charities, I think, if I remember correctly, I thought it was $1,000 each, but I don't remember. Yeah, they got the usernames are back to the @ symbols again. Thanks, @Love Boston. We got, let's see, we got a Venmo, thank you. Or one Venmo from Alley Cake. And then Lisa Valenzuela with a coffee. And then Joseph Brennan with a few coffees there. Thank you. Where is that? Oh, in Japan, huh? Another Japanese serial killer. Crazy. Right. All right. So there's people out there. I don't know if you want me to. We can open up the lines or whatever, or here on StreamYard, and you can come in and talk about what you thought about it. I watched all 4 of them. I thought the first one was particularly good. It really. Well, one of the things I did want to bring up is people like JLR and even some of the people that are on the side now in the case where I've been the whole time, they were just, I mean, they were demolished in there. So even, people like, even Drunk Turkey, the segment they put on there wasn't really flattering for him, but he's obviously come around since the beginning. But that's the problem, man. These guys all do this. They go after every single person. It's just incredible. Any name that pops up, it seems mildly interesting. They act like it's the, they just want to be on it when it happens. So, JLR, he was accusing he would film every single person and walk around and point to him like, is this the killer? Or, man, hey, and then it was just really devastating to the families. So, obviously he does go out and film interesting things from time to time, but I mean, that's just the stuff that's in the background. Does Gray not see? I don't know what you're talking about. Thanks. Love Boston. And welcome to At the Way the Truth the Lig. I mean, I have no idea. That's too long, man. The Way the Truth the Lig. Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought it was, there was nothing breaking news type worthy in there. One thing I thought was interesting. Again, see, this is something that if you're not following the case, you probably wouldn't even have picked up on. But it's the part about on the 29th of November when they put out or the 27th, I think it was, they put out the bolo, might have been the 26th or 7th, they put out a bolo on a white Elantra. And then on the 29th, 2 officers in Pullman, sort of went over and looked up Elantras, white Elantras, and they went over and the bolo said a 2011 to 2013 white Elantra. That's what it said. So law enforcement went over there and they wrote it down. They wrote down the plate and whose it was, etc. But they were instructed not to go try to talk to the person or anything, just to write down their plate, etc. But then they ended up not sending in a police report because it said 2011 to 2013, and Kohberger's vehicle, or they didn't push it forward because his vehicle was a 2015. So that date range did cause problem. I mean, early on, his name would have been popped up in there much quicker. Right? Hey, thank you. What is that one? Tracy and Talk. Tracy. I'm not even sure if I'm saying it right. Thank you, Gray. Been following this case from the beginning. Yep, we'll hope you've been following it here. Thank you for the facts, and the Kohberger wine is accurate. Great! All right. Well, whatever you guys send in, I'll match it. All right, so we're at 92 right now. If you guys, I'd like to get to 500. That'd be pretty cool. All right, there was something else though that I wanted to bring up. All right, here we go. Look at this. This just came out just before the show started at 6:46 Eastern Time, which is 3:46, which is an hour and 15 minutes ago. Brian Kohberger update. New hearing set over gag order. So even earlier today, they said judge is sticking with it. But you got to admit, those gag order rescinding filings that we read the other day, they were really strong. I mean, it was like those things, the judge probably read it and go, yeah, Jesus, you're right. I mean, why is there still a gag order? All right, so it's like District Judge Stephen Hippler, who is presiding over the Brian Kohberger case, will consider a request from various media organizations to vacate gag order at a hearing on Thursday. Hey, we get another hearing, everybody. Hopefully it's scheduled, you know. But there we go. We got one more hearing. I don't think Kohberger will be there, though. I think it's just the judge. But who cares, right? Why it matters. The court is issued a non-dissemination order in the case in January of 2023. I mean, man, that is, 2 months in. Not even that. A month. Well, I would even say a couple weeks into. They mentioned that on the special. How the gag order just happened like right away. Yeah, apparently there's one coming up on Thursday, they said. Yeah, this next Thursday. So that would be like the 18th or something. Is that right? Or 17th? And that does speed it up quite a bit. That would be 10 days earlier if he lifts the gag order during the hearing. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of... I think that's what people would be wanting. I just explained it to you. What do you mean for what? It just went over the whole thing. My God. I mean, why it matters. The court issued a non-dissemination order in the case January 2023. The order has since been amended, but it remains in effect. The order prohibits prosecutors and defense attorneys from making statements that will have substantial likelihood of materially prejudicing or otherwise influencing the outcome of the case. Kohberger pleaded guilty. Kohberger was charged. The former criminal, we already know all that crap. Kohberger will be formally sentenced in July 23rd, so I guess it would be only 6 days earlier. Right. Huh? Yeah, I wasn't talking to... You're not the one that asked the question, Paulette. Unless I'm not on live chat. So, it sounds like the judge is going to hear arguments on why the gag order should be lifted sooner. And I guess he's not even required to lift the gag order. I mean, why isn't he required to? Honestly, Kohberger, as second at least the sentencing is done, he should be required, compelled by law to remove the gag order. No, I feel fine. I just got allergies. I got this thing that blows air conditioning over here into my face. And it has like pollen and all kinds of crap in it. Yeah. We're having a massive lull here, you guys. So for us to get up to the $500 range, for me to give $500, which means I'll eat $100 and something of that. You guys need to help support the channel to get there. I mean, just having these huge lulls and $1 here and $1 there, we're not going to get to the 500. So if you have the ability to, that would be great. We're going to send 500 into the charity. I think it's like a scholarship fund for the 3 girls, Madison, Kaylee, and Xana. Hey, look at that. Love Boston. Oogla boogla. Free Karen Reed. Just back again. I think it's time to remove that. She won, okay? Hey, thanks, Kay in Maine. Is that where you were this whole time? Doing the Karen Reed trial again? For months and months and months. Thank God that sucker's over. Now, ooh, we gotta go to the civil trial now. Ooh! Let's see. Right, so anyways, I guess that's going to be it. The non-dissemination order is now plainly overboard and therefore runs afoul of the First Amendment. I totally agree with that. I think it does. He's pled guilty. He has no appeals. So how could it hurt him by releasing it? You know what I think it is? I was thinking about this. Why are they doing this? I mean, I think it's because the prosecutor doesn't want the horror to be released prior to sentencing, because the outrage that they did not go for the death penalty on this guy will be tremendous. They don't want it before the hearing, though. He wants to, go quietly into that good night, and it just sucks. I think that's the answer. I think that's exactly why he wanted to do it. And I was thinking about that. I was on my walk today. And while I was walking, I was thinking about that. Why would he do this? Why would he want the gag order? Secondly, there's just so many things. And why didn't he talk to the families about what happened before the sentencing? Is because he doesn't want them or anybody to go out and tell the horrific nature of what Kohberger did before the hearing, because it would just be way more outrageous, and he just wants to quietly disappear. Hey, thanks up there to K in Maine. Then we got the misdemeanor 2637, and welcome Jody, and then Sia Parker, and then RMBMR. Who are you guys? The thing is they got rid of the damn names again. You're probably people I talk to every day, but I don't even, I look at the names, not the emoji. So you might have to, I don't know if you can put message, when you send super chats in, say what your name used to be. Then I can go, oh, wow, that's cool. And no, I'm not sick. I got this allergy coming in every time when I put the air conditioner on. It just that I agree with. The horror of what happened. People, what don't you agree with, Michelle? So you say that I agree with. Well, what didn't you agree with? Because usually you would just say I agree with that, not that I agree with, meaning, well, there's everything else you say I don't agree with. But you know what? I bet you if you went back in time on this case, that this channel has been not just more accurate, but astoundingly more accurate than every other channel that there is out there, including the network YouTube channels, all of them. Okay? And that's just the truth. And if you've been here, you'd know it. Thanks, everyone, for your dinner support. Oh, yeah. All right, so go ahead. Put some comments in there about what you thought about the special one night. I remembered it by remembering one night in Bangkok, but then I was thinking one night in Idaho. That's how I kept remembering the name. All right, we're up to 140 now, you guys. 140. Yeah, we have nailed it in here. Like, we went over the probable cause document 5 times, at least, or 4 or 5 times, in depth, all the way through, many times, and everything has been built off of that, and just filled in the blanks. So, for example, the probable cause document mentions 3 passes, and then a 4th pass. The car enters the area, and then does a 3-point turn, it mentions, and we kind of don't get more. And then we've taken that and built that into an entire, factually created with surveillance footage, looping, all right? And then new documents that came out even gave more information about where it was going in behind. So we've got all of that completely Figure it out. All the names listed above were supposed to have thanks for giving after, but accidentally the message was sent too soon. Huh? Yeah, I mean, the only time in this case where I speculated early was wrong was I thought maybe it was one of the boyfriend of one of the victims, and that was, you know, Kaylee's boyfriend, and I didn't know what his name, I didn't even have his name or know what his name was. It was just a theory based on the fact that they tried calling him and he wasn't available, so where was he? And the Gonzalezes said that law enforcement was looking into him, and they thought it was ridiculous, but man, they were still looking into him. And then he was the last one that they cleared, and as soon as they cleared him, I just said, okay. Then I removed the one video, but that didn't have his name on it about him. Okay. Other than that, it's just been, you know, probable cause document going all the way through. You know. Oh man, I'm gonna have to blow my nose pretty soon. Well, we're hitting one of those lulls again, you guys. The only way to get to the goal that we're trying to do, we're trying to get to 500, which means YouTube takes 30%, and I'll still donate 500, which means I'll donate about $150, and then you guys as a group will donate $350. That's if we get to 500. All right. Awesome. And it's going to go to the fund for all three of the girls. Did Brian confront Xana on the 3rd floor? We don't know. That's what the Dateline special made it sound like. Or at least maybe he saw her. But then Bill Thompson said but Bill Thompson speaks inaccurately when he talks. Because there was a couple times where I went, yeah, that's not accurate. And that's based on the literal facts of the case. He got things wrong. So, you know, when he talked about, first of all, he used U-turn, again, the term. And then he said the vehicle came in, and then when it was leaving, did a U-turn. And then it drove behind the house. Well, no, it actually then went behind 500 Queen. You know, it first came in and did a 3-point turn behind 500 Queen Road. Turned around and went back in front of the house and then did another 3-point turn. And so he wasn't leaving at the time. He was checking something out. Yeah, I mean, the fact that he went behind there and he stopped for 10 seconds and then backed up and then drove back, that means he wanted to go look at something. He wasn't leaving. And then he did a 3-point turn and drove back, and then he finally finished the 4th pass. Shoot. I don't know where my Kleenex is. Massive lull alert. Massive lull alert. It's been alluded to that Xana was attacked by Kohberger on the top. Yeah, I mean, it's been alluded to in the Dateline episode. They said that there was a blood spot, but we haven't heard of that because why didn't Bill Thompson mention that? Yeah, we don't know if there was a blood spot on the rail from the second. That was on the ground floor to the 2nd floor. Yeah, that's unrelated. That's nothing to do with anything. Yeah, we've talked about that before. I'm talking about the upstairs. People want to know if she was upstairs. But anyways, what did you think of the special? That's kind of what the main gist of this show was going to be about. But then I had to talk about 2 different things that popped up. Can I shed any light on the DoorDash driver? No. Other than, you know, all the stuff that we know. The DoorDash driver, I think, got there at around 3:57 when Kohberger was driving behind 500 Queen Road. And then when Kohberger came down, he stopped in front. He may have even seen the light and pulled up next to her. You know, but he's on the side street and she's in the parking area. And then after he leaves, he's right around on Volanta Drive at 3:59:04 heading south. And 4 seconds before that, apparently, if we're to believe that 359 is a hard number, I actually think 359 is not a hard number. I think it is a... they just cut off the seconds. A lot of times law enforcement does that too. They'll say, oh yeah, he got there at 3:30. Well, it's actually 3:30 and 47 seconds. You know, or something like that. And they always leave that part out. So it's like, okay, is that what... And then some systems do that. It just does the last whole number. Like, they don't care about the seconds, so it's 3:59. They don't round it up or anything like that. And so the reason I think that is because at 3:59:40 something, that's when we start hearing the key fob sound. And that just seems like so incredibly likely that the key fob sound is associated with the DoorDash, especially since it sounds like you got 3 beeps, and that's what it'd be like when you're locking the door, like deet, 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 and then there's like 40 seconds later, 35 seconds later, and then it beeps twice again as if you're coming back to the car to unlock it. And yes, some DoorDash, some key fobs make the beep sound. But hey, guys, we're trying to get to $500 tonight in here. We're at we're not even at 130 because those are memberships that were few of them were just memberships. So we're like 130. Are we not going to be able to do it with all you guys, or? So we're trying to get to 500 so we can donate money to the scholarship fund for the 3 girls. I've never seen it so hard to do any of this stuff as it's been lately. Gray, did you watch the ex-cons prediction on... No, I don't give a shit. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, they're just talking about how it's going to be in prison. No, I didn't watch that. Was the DoorDash driver 100%? She's still traumatized, it seems. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just don't know what the deal is. Like, Here, I'll put the goal up on the screen. That way, maybe there's an off chance we might actually get there. So right now we're at 130. I mean, now, so we need like... what would that be? 20, 30, like, well, more than that, but we need 30. All right, well, this is the only way to get there is with larger, right now we're going to put it in there. We need like 10s and things like that because we're 30 10s away. You know what I mean? Like, it's just going to be almost impossible if we're doing, I mean, this is just what we're doing tonight. Thank you, CR and Dixie Hippie and Love Boston. I had to put it at a different number because I did 5s, it'd be 65. Or not, it's even more than that, but I just didn't have a way to type it in. Because that only is 300, and we're only at 120, 130, 150 actually, so that'd be 50 short. All right. So are the people that actually watch this? Doesn't seem like people are interested in talking about the special or doing any of this. Mm-hmm. Huh? Yeah, no, I haven't seen anything with the prison inmate. Sounds like a sensationalistic interview. That would last until the fall, and that's what I was hoping to too. Would be on his birthday. Oh well. Yep. Alright. Well, I tried to do an earlier show and thought maybe we get some different people in here and get going, but I mean, look at, we're getting down, now we're down to 250. Yeah, it's just. So, who watched it? The special. What did you think of it? I can make it so. How about we, if you watched it, maybe you can call in. Let's see. Wait, how do I forgot how to invite. Is it right there? Oh, yeah. Thank you, Alpine Gulch. That's a cool name. All right, so the StreamYard is pinned to the top. What if you tried 3 times? If you're having trouble with super chats, you can try the super sticker, and that works most of the time. I don't know who Pablo is. Don't know what that means. Let's see. I saw some other man on Banfield, not Pablo. Who's Pablo? Man, you guys dig into the weirdest shit, man. Just stuff that's unrelated. Now, so I watched all 4 episodes, and it really gave you the feeling of that from the perspective of the kids, especially Hunter, both Hunters, and Emily, and another friend, I don't remember what her name was, but they just really, they just went through hell. I know what the feeling feels like of losing a sibling, but then it was all these conspiracy people that ruined their lives, basically. Like some of the stuff, it still shows up when you do a search on Google, and it shows up with their name and how they're a killer or something. I mean, that's how screwed up these people are. That just kept doing these shows and videos early on. Now I'll try a coffee then. You can always try a coffee there, Teresa. But this doesn't seem like a night where we're going to reach a goal to... but we got a little while to go. I mean, we've got another maybe a couple hours. See what happens. What's totally related? When you say it is totally related, what is? BK will be taken out in prison, but it was not Jumpsuit Pablo. Okay. It just, to me, it's like, yeah, we all think that, right? I mean, haven't we all thought that? When he gets into prison, he'll be, somebody in prison will give him prison justice. I mean, we've all thought that in our heads. I just don't know why you need to go get a con on to explain it. Yeah, I think losing a sibling to murder is worse than losing a sibling, but they're both horrendous. The other one, you just never get answers. You never get an answer, like in a homicide, you're wanting answers to the why. When, let's say a sibling dies in a car accident or something else, it's just some random, like my brother with the heart, irregular heartbeat. You don't really, it just is what it is, There's nothing to, it's just sad as hell. But we keep losing people. We're down to 229, so I think I don't know, man. I'm not even sure I'm going to do anything on here. Yeah, it's just terrible. But imagine losing one to homicide, or, you know, like a murder. You'd probably just be... I know, it is worthy, but unfortunately people aren't interested. Yeah, we're just another one of those nights. I thought I'd come on at a different time. I've been, you know, communicating with Georgina. That's just like, this is this is so crazy. I thought this would be totally different in here. That everybody was going to come in here and watch the special and be really interested in talking about it. Instead, we get a comment every 30 seconds, and we're not going for the goal to try to get the 500 to send off to the charity. We're just very, very, very frustrating. I was thinking you guys would be commenting about what you thought about the special. I watched the whole thing, and, you know, it was just Hunter, you know, went over there. What was something I wrote down? I did write down something, but like Hunter went over there, and he, you know, he knew that they were dead earlier, but he told them not to go up there. He protected the girls. And even when they called 911, he just said that they're passed out because he didn't want to scare the girls, and he just kept it to himself. And then Hunter himself has been accused by these nut jobs out there. I mean, he's one of the ones that JLR accused. Kept showing pictures of, ooh, look at this guy, you know. And all the TikTokers and nut jobs out there. No, we can't watch any of it. Yeah, they had no pulse to somebody else. I was concerned. All right, Teresa J. I'd love to see it, but we can't. I mean, you guys don't have Amazon Prime where you can watch stuff like that? I don't know what the deal is. Like, why does Australia and places like that? Well, you can't watch the Amazon Prime. What the hell garbage is that? Stupid. Yeah, they thought he was a... I mean, like I said before, I did a special on... or a live stream on Is the Killer an Incel like Elliot Rodger before Kohberger was ever even arrested. Or his name, or even a name was out there. So yeah, I mean, I think... you know, I don't he's kind of like a combination of different things. You know, Elliot Rodger seemed to at least have some sort of personality in there, where Kohberger just seems like a drone. Now that's what one of the guys in the special referred to him as, like a robot. It was called One Night in Idaho. Well, we're still at 0 on the goal, the new goal that I set up there to try to get to the... It should have been 1, though, because Teresa was 1, right? Not sure why that didn't add up on there. Oh. Match me by donating by Super Chat, so Gray will give to the foundation. Right, right. Yeah, that's kind of the deal here. I don't know what's... Just clicked, huh? Yeah, it seems like he lived in fantasy. We should live... we listen to his rap again. Whose? Kohberger's? StreamYard is not pinned. Well, I see it pinned over here. Guess I'll have to do it again. Yeah, see, it's already, it is pinned because I have to remove it currently. So it is pinned. I don't know. Thank you. Tired of it all. Me too. Me too. It should be 2 up there. I mean, it's weird how there was a 10 and then 1 didn't make it. Yeah, so I just put it in the chat, the link to StreamYard if you want to jump in there. I thought the part 3 and 4 weren't that great. Especially since there was really no effort to give us new information. It was really, like, I think part 3 started off with Brian Kohberger's name out there. And what it did show was how poor, and it continues to be poor, Moscow's police department is at communications. I mean, they just suck. I mean, just ludicrous. Those. Remember that picture with the 4 girls that are sitting out with or not 4? There's like, I don't know, 5 or 6 kids with a blanket on them. They're sitting out in the street. They just sat there forever and never being told anything about what was happening. Yeah, it was just garbage. Okay, good for you, Fishing. Thanks for letting us know. Let's see, who thinks Brian K. will speak at his final victim impact statement? I don't know what he's going to say. Thanks, Dixie Hippie. Start a wave in gray. Let's start a wave in gray play that I can't believe you had Gray on the show, Vinny. All right. I mean, if I have to play it to get the wave, or what? What are you saying here? Dixie Hippie likes that one. So do I, though. I laugh at it every time. Those damn pro burgers.
When I was on Court TV, do you guys see that? I'm sure they'll get the obligatory, I can't believe you had Gray on your show, Vinny. I'm never watching again.
See how crazy that is? Oh, that's the best. Yeah, I mean, that, you gotta admit, like, that's the funniest damn thing you've ever heard in your life. And by the way, anytime I'm on Court TV, you guys can go laugh at the people who make that exact same comment every time. It's just hilarious. You know, as if I wasn't better than the other people. I mean, it's just crazy. You know, all right, here we go.
When I was on Court TV, do you guys see that? I'm sure they'll get the obligatory, I can't believe you had Gray on your show, Vinny. I'm never watching again.
Why is that? I laugh every time at the same part.
Court TV, do you guys see that? I'm sure they'll get
Where's the super chats? You guys were going to do a wave. Come on, let's go.
I can't believe you had Gray on your show, Vinny. I'm never watching again. When when I was on Court TV. Did you guys see that? I'm sure they'll get the
I can't not laugh at it every single time.
I can't believe you had Gray on your show, Vinny. I'm never watching again. When I was on Court TV, did you guys see that?
Well, there you go.
I'm sure they'll get the obligatory. I can't.
Anyways, I thought that was supposed to be a by Dixie Hippie. That was supposed to be a wave with super chats to get us to the goal, so we can send the money into the. I forgot the name of the foundation. What's the name of the charity, you guys? Look it up. The one for the 3 victims, Xana, Madison, and Kaylee. Fake phone interviews to be posted. What do you mean? What's the fake interviews? What are you referring to? Thank you. We say howdy here. All right, tell you what. Forget the 500. You guys aren't going to be able to do it. So what we need is 200 more to get the. Or let's see. Hold on. No, we need 105 more, 110 more to get to 300, and that's what I'll do. All right. Can you guys do that? And is anybody calling in regarding this special? That's what this was supposed to be about. I just put the StreamYard link in there again, and nobody seems to call in. I can't believe you. I can do it perfectly. Watch. I can imitate it perfectly. Watch. I can't believe you had Gray on again. Oh, wait, let's see. I can't. Vinny, or what is it? I can't believe you had Gray on again, Vinny. I can't believe you had Gray on again, Vinny. I'm never watching again. I can't even do it. But Gray! That's right. Yeah. Where is it? Where is it, Paulette? Where is the kindness? No, but it's easy. You don't have to have your face on there. You can just turn off the video and just talk. But had to read from my Papa Roger for crying out loud. Huh? I don't know what that means. I bet a better sentence than that. BT had to read. Who are you talking about? Sandy Shirley, you're kidding. I am laughing so hard. I saw it earlier too, but it's gone on my view. Who? What are you talking about? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think if you refresh it's right there at the top. He looks so weird in there. It almost looks like he shaved his eyebrows completely. If he had the same eyebrows that he had the night of the homicides, he could comb it into his hair. He'd basically have forehead hair. It would look like. It would almost be like a toupee for his forehead generated by his eyebrows. Yeah, I don't know how your comment got pinned. I saw that. No, it's still up there? Man, that's crazy. Let me try it again. Okay. You know what? I don't think people are actually respond. You know those little the little chat emoji bullcrap. I don't think that's even real. Like I think it generates some just to let people know it's there. Hey, there we go again. Got it removed. All right, got it at the top of the screen there. So there's going to be a hearing next Thursday. For the gag order lifting. Made with kindness. That's what it's called. Alright, so this is what I want to donate money to tonight, you guys. It's right here. Alright. Now, I don't know if the... Where is it? I don't know where they have the... Is it right there? Oh, there it was. Like maybe that. I don't know. Oh, that's right. More. There it is. See that? I told him to fix that. If you want it, you got to have the donation button on the front of the first page where it just says donate. You know, you don't want, and you don't, especially you don't put it under more. You know, you put it under, you know, underneath scholarship. That should have a donate button. You know, underneath every one of these, but just underneath more, and then it's like, oh, there it is. You know. It's hard. I had the same problem last time. The hearing is a room meeting. I don't even know what that means. Let's see. Oh, good. Gray StreamYard link is pinned. I know. I said that. Yeah, it's obvious. The hearing is a Zoom meeting. Oh, it's a Zoom meeting. Oh, really? Huh. Well, where did you read that? It doesn't say that in the thing that I read. I would imagine it's still on the same... Oh, there's some... I would imagine it's still on the same... what do you call it? The channel, YouTube channel. They're just going to stream the Zoom meeting. Right, who's there? Somebody named KR. Who's that? Hello? Yeah, your mic's muted, so, and you also have to make sure your YouTube is not playing. So you turn off your YouTube, and okay, I'll give you about 10 more seconds, and then I'm going to remove it. Your mic's muted. Your camera's moving all over the place. Don't know what you're doing. Your image isn't going to be on the screen, though. Okay. Yeah. They got out of there. Dahmer lasted 2 years in prison. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. KR, I have no idea what you were doing. You have to, I don't know, you had a video playing, you just didn't unmute your mic or anything. You just sort of wobbled around. It was weird. July 17th, 2025 at 10:30 a.m. Northern Idaho time, which is 9:30 my time. On the East Coast. Right. . Yeah, I've got the thing right here. It says, in the District Court of the 4th Judicial District of the State of Idaho, there's going to be a hearing notice given that the above entitled case is set for July 17th at 10:30 a.m. Stephen Hippler. This is a remote hearing that will be held via Zoom. The clerk will send out the Zoom invitation prior to the hearing date. Alright, does that mean who's the clerk? I guess that's what I would need to have. Maybe I need to have that. Or maybe it will be streamed. I don't know. It doesn't necessarily mean that by looking at that. Guess we'll have to look into it. Thanks, Mustang Sally. Top notch is always great. I watched the special, learned some new things, felt the horror through the... Yeah, that's... Well, what did you learn that was new other than... You know, like about how the process of what they went through? Like factual elements of the case, there wasn't really anything, to be honest with you. And they said that they didn't want it to make the show about Kohberger. You know, we knew all the stuff about Papa Rogers. You know, we don't even know that was just the Facebook page's opinion that he's Papa Rogers. That sounds right, though. He quit communicating after he was arrested, which, I mean, why would Papa Rogers do that if it wasn't Kohberger? You would go, oh, wow, you know. He'd still communicate. I don't know. Love Boston. I've never heard it called embargo. That's usually like trade. Yeah, it's like friends and family. It was pretty... Yeah, like I said before, it was interesting. The only factoid that I got was that the two officers who found the Elantra on the 29th, at 1630, what's the name of that? Steptoe or whatever the hell it was, his apartment. They didn't, they wrote it down and everything, but it didn't make it any further because it was a 2015, and the Bolo said they were looking for a 2011 to 2013. See, that's a mistake. Those are stupid. You know, you should just tell everybody, hey, you know, send us anything you got on a white Elantra. Don't worry about the year. Did we want... He meant to never come back. Well, that part was sort of interesting in there, right? Where they said that his room was almost empty. Like, maybe he didn't. Maybe he tried intentionally to get fired. So it wouldn't be like he left. It would be that, oh, he got fired, so now he's not coming back. But did he have that little stuff? Like, where was it? He didn't fit it all in his Elantra, right? Conscious friend that Dylan reported was told by Hunter to tell the operator that. Right. Uh-huh. And so that's the whole thing, everybody. Is I've been telling you since we got the probable cause, or even when the case started, that Dylan and Bethany have absolutely nothing to do with anything. And that was one of the things in there. It was the unconscious friend that Dylan reported was told by Hunter. He's the one that said that. And that's why they said that. Even though their gut feeling was probably something different because of the way Hunter may have looked. And that's why they were so upset. We also learned just how cool these people were. And by the way, how long was Hunter even at that college? He was a freshman, and college starts the year like in October, late September, October. And so was he there maybe for summer school or something like that? I mean, I don't know, but it was, you know, he only could have been at that school for, you know, 8 months at the very most. I mean, if he, well, not even that, like 6. And I guess it's possible he started like in the fall term as a freshman of 2021, and then sort of he hadn't finished his freshman year yet. Well, which one do you think? The one that passed away? Okay, Jesus. I never believed that they had anything to do with it. Right. Now we're going to hear from all the people that kept saying over and over again, well, Gray, I don't think they had anything to do with it, but why did they wait 8 hours? I mean, who does that? Who, you know, and then it's like, well, but if you don't think they have anything to do with it, what difference does it make? Why do you need to know the answer to that question? And that's because you're lying to me when you say that you don't think that they're involved. You do. You're wondering if there's something there. And they actually said on the special, they got a psychological expert and they said it's totally normal. Their reactions. You know, and when there's a traumatic situation, it was totally normal. And everybody thinks that they wouldn't act that way, but I can tell you that those they have never been in a situation anything remotely similar to what Bethany and Dylan went through. All right. All right, we're having one of those massive lulls again, you guys. I think we need another. If we get another $70, I'll be able to give 300 out. Let's see. Hunter Chapin was 20, so he and his sibs were freshmen. Thought they were sophomores at least. Yeah, I think Ethan was the same age as Xana, but he was he must have started college later because he was 20. You know, and usually when you're a freshman, you're like 17 or 18. But he might have been 19, and that's why I'm saying maybe he started in the summer or maybe even the fall before, because you're still a freshman based on your credits and the classes you took. There must be some other show on right now that people are watching. You know, I mean, it seems pretty bizarre to want, you know, we're actually trying to talk about the special and there's so few people. Let's see. Ten to 4. What's 10 to 4? I have no idea. Yeah. But you know, if you guys want, we can switch the charity over to, you know, helping Texas out, and then I can give money to this charity later in the year if you want. I'm doing it for Fishing in the Dark, what her name used to be, who came in here and complained about why she didn't want to, never, you know, hasn't supported my channel in a long time, but she, you know, is sending money somewhere else, and I didn't really ask. I don't really understand that, but, you know, it'd be great to send money into any of the, you know, the Texas flood victims would be a good one. since that's an active thing going on. People don't seem too pumped to help the charity that we have on the screen today. So maybe we'll just have to do it ourselves another time. Let's see. Where is your evidence? Who are you talking to? They were not kids, and it was a house of... You know, you're an idiot, Whiz Kells, okay? I don't know where our mods are, but you're a complete pile of crap, you know? Okay, it's gone now. I guess over in here in StreamYard you can see it. All the triplets were students, so I was wrong to assume they started there at the same time. Yeah, I didn't know who started when or anything. Yeah, it's just I felt bad for you know. Don't you think it was interesting that none of the parents of the sort of let's get Kohberger death penalty were in this documentary? It was kind of like it was the, you know, I mean, you felt bad for the Chapins, and you felt bad that was their only kid, and the father was was a stepdad, and the stepdad said something to the effect of, let's see, well, it was a kind of a touching story, how he'd been a stepdad for a long time, and then one day, Madison, while he was standing there, told her friends, "Hey, this is my dad." And he said that was just it meant so much to him. And I could see that, like after years and years, maybe he was always stepdad or whatever, and then finally she called him dad. And then the Chapins, I mean, what a nightmare for them. And you can see that they don't really want to have to spend the next 25 years doing appeals and all those things, so... But but you'd also think that wouldn't appeals be sort of easy to get over, you know, like to I mean, to get through even later. I mean, even if you say, well, I can't have appeals, but it seems like something might happen or come forward where you would likely be able to get it overturned, that ruling, if it was something specific. Although, you know, if you don't go to trial, what issues do you have? You know, there's no, you know, you're admitting you did it. So what issues would you have? You'd have to have somebody come forward and go, oh, I did it really. But there isn't a person on the planet that would admit to killing 4 people and then also say, well, I also can appeal, but I didn't do it. I mean, there's just no chance, okay? There's no chance that somebody would take that. An Alford plea, basically, where you admit to doing it and you can't have appeals. But, you know, you didn't do it, but... I've said that, Love Boss, and that's what I'm talking about. Man, I don't think people actually listen to what I say. It gets really frustrating. It's, you know, bizarre. Yeah, most likely they would have been denied anyways. Yeah, so like in the future, if something came out that, you know, let's just hypothetically pretend that there was some other crazy scenario that happened, and that came out, well, wouldn't you then have, like, almost automatically some judge or somebody would go, hey, we gotta, you know, we gotta remedy this. We can't not have this. And I'm not really even referring to this case because that's not going to be happening. You know? All right, we need another 75 or so, which is 15 channel memberships, and then we'll donate $300 to wherever you guys want. All right, we'll do a poll, and we can donate $300 to one of the funds out there for Texas, or we can do one to the you know, this fund for the 3 girls. Right. Well, I think I've said this before if you're new here, but I've said that the sentence is the second worst thing that he could ever have gotten. Because if he'd gone to trial and he was found guilty, but the jury didn't give him the death penalty, then he'd have appeals and he would have consecutive life sentences. But he'd have appeals. He'd have a chance to appeal something. This is, he's got consecutive life sentences and he's not going to have a right to appeal. He's waiving the right. But you can see some judge, can't you, coming in there and saying, that's not fair. You know, that's unconstitutional. Yeah, well, the trial might, but I think that would be okay. You know, the trial wearing you out, like, oh, yeah. But what it is if he gets the death penalty, it's another 25 years of death for your psyche. Because it probably means for the next 25 years, you have to show up to all the court hearings. You got to show up to all the appeals that he does and all these different things. And you're just waiting for the one moment. And then you're like 70 years old by the time he takes his, gets killed. And then you're, like, what do we do now? But in this scenario, it's just sort of done. And it kind of allows, the families to move on. And, there's no such thing as closure, by the way, but they can move on. So that's kind of a way you can positively look at this. Plus, it also didn't make the two families that didn't want to have to do this to do it, But I think the way that Thompson could have, made everybody feel a little better would be as if he had required Kohberger to meet with his investigators and fill in the entire story and all the blanks that they had and tell them where the knife was. And if he didn't do that, I'm just telling you right now, if Thompson did not do that on the side, something that we aren't aware of, then he is a pile of crap. And that's just the truth. I don't give a shit what, because that means you did not do right by the families in getting them answers, and meaning like the answers to what happened and the information. Now you might say, well, he got the justice for him. He said he was guilty, and he's the one that did it. Why do they need to know the details? Well, who cares why they want to have the details? They deserve to get to know. All right, you guys, we need more channel memberships. Let's try to get 13 more of those. 14 channel memberships will get to 300, and then I'll send 300 in, even though I'm sending in 90 of my own money, and you guys are going to do 210. All right. Jury seeing pics would be out. Well, who cares what the jury... the family seeing the pictures would be awful. A life without appeals. Offered either life with appeals and full... Well, why wouldn't he want to do the full confessions then? That's stupid. I think what that is that's the thing. Like, once you give all your information and it matches, then you can't say, well, I just said it for... That means you knew intimate details. So maybe, I guess that's possible. But they weren't in the driver's seat, the defense, So I don't even know, there's no deal. It's just, hey, this is what you're going to do. If you don't want to have the death penalty, Brian, you are going to tell us exactly what you did, and you're going to tell us where the knife sheath is, and that's your only option. Other than that, we're well prepared to go to trial here. But the prosecution might have thought exactly what I said a few minutes ago, and sort of what Darth Vader was saying. What the hell is this thing doing? What Darth Vader is saying a minute ago up there was, the offer was appeals and full confession, life with appeals and full confession, or life without appeals and no confession. So I guess you could look at it like this. See, Kohberger could have said, well, then screw it. Let's go to trial. And it goes to trial, and he's found guilty. But his attorney must have thought that there wasn't enough mitigation available to not get him the death penalty. But he could have taken that chance. And maybe the prosecution wasn't willing to have that chance, because then there'd be appeals if he was just found guilty, but the death penalty wasn't enacted. It would just be, or voted for. So it would be just, yeah, it's kind of weird. Well, we get more information. We'd have all the details that law enforcement has, at least. I'm not sure we'll ever, I mean, hopefully we get discovery or something like that. But are we not going to do this tonight, you guys? Get to the goal. We need 14 more channel memberships, and then I've already reduced it from 500 to 300 so that we can send off, it's up to you guys where you want to send it. We can send it to the relief in Texas, or we can send it to the, the 3 girls, Madison Mogans, the charity that's associated with them, Xana Kernodle and Kaylee Gonzalez. Now there's 5 of them right there. Sweet. All right, 9 more. 9 more, you guys. That's easy. You guys can do that. That's simple. That means out of 250 people here watching, we just need 9 of them to do one $5 gifted membership. Let's see. So what else was in that special that people were thinking about? Save 20 million and decades of work. Right. But the deal should have been included that he had to tell everybody what he did. I mean, why can't he do that? If he's admitting to doing it and he has no appeals, why does it matter to Kohberger? See, he must have been told, hey, now there's a chance if you don't say exactly what you did, we can do something. So we can't give him that. But just, you can say that you did it and everything, but if you go through with all the details, then there's no out in the future. You get what I'm saying? Hey, thanks at really bish. All right, now we need 8. That counts too. It doesn't have to be a channel membership. Maddie's selfies with Dylan that she put on Hunter's phone. Yeah, that was, God, that was sad. Those are, that picture of all 4 of them, you guys? Or all 5, or actually 6 of them. That one, the famous picture where they're all standing there the same day, I think before the football game or whatever. They took like many pictures right there. A whole bunch of them. And then there was that other one where, Hunter the friend, he left not Hunter the brother, he left Hunter the guy that found the bodies, or looked at him anyways. He left his phone. He was drunk, I guess, at a house, and Maddie and I think it was Dylan, right, were taking pictures. I'm just questioning how much notoriety he even wants. Wanted cameras out of the courtroom. Well, no, his attorneys wanted that. Yeah, I think it's funny how they always say, when they say the defendant, and it's like come on, these attorneys make the decisions. And they explain why. But he's kind of an introverted type. What's weird about him is, like, it seems like he wanted to kill and keep on killing. and he didn't want to be caught. So now he's uncomfortable being caught. I think at first he felt kind of cool, like, you know, when he was walking around. He had the same vibe, it felt like, as Luigi Mangione. He had all these idiot women out there throwing themselves at him, and all these guys thinking he's cool. And it's just like, you know, listen, Kohberger is a nut job, okay? A guy that actually plucked his eyebrows, by the way. Yeah, all the girls that wanted, you know, the women that thought it would be cool to, you know, Gray, you don't know anything. I mean, I'd love to hear from some of these people now. The ones that would comment underneath my videos and say, what evidence is there? You know, you don't know anything, Gray. Like they're defending their boyfriend. Really bizarre, you know, bizarre world. And I know none of you are like that. I'm just talking about the one, you know, the ones that write letters to Scott Peterson, you know, that type. Well, it was the day before their last day on Earth. The picture was on the 12th. And then that night, they, you know, went out to party, and then went into the early morning hours of the 13th. And then that's when they were killed. But, yeah, you just found that out? That's something we've known. Judge, hip, take away, please, and put BK on the fast track. He can't take away anything. Yeah, he's not taking away the plea deal. They're limited. All right, guys, we need 8 more of these. 8 more channel memberships, or just $40 total. And then we'll donate the entire night's super chats and etc. to a charity. We'll do a vote for it later. Man, we used to be able to do that in like 30 seconds. Back in the day. I'd say that and go, oh, boom! Like within 10 minutes we're already there. That was during the pandemic, when the economy was much worse than it is now. Thanks, KMTX. When they covered the Papa Rogers information, did it make you learn more one way, lean one way? No, I think I feel the same way. I think it's likely Papa Rogers was Brian Kohberger. That's all I can say. I just think it's likely. Nothing he said I mean, he probably thought of it like that too. He's not going to say anything that only the killer would know. For example, saying that, oh, he must have left the sheath. He just thought it made him look really smart, and it was something that somebody that was smart could have come up with, because the media had already been talking about. I have it in my timeline, by the way. Here, let's see. Seven more, you guys. 7 more. We got to do something tonight. Oops. Oh yeah, right there. Papa Rogers mentions the sheath. That's on 11:30. Yeah, 3:20. Okay, there you go. See, look at on 11/16. See how good this timeline is. The K-bar knife was mentioned in the newspapers for the first time. All right. So isn't it logical to think, well, how'd they know it was a K-bar knife? And then if you knew that K-bars have sheaths, then wouldn't you say, oh, well, they must have found the sheath then? Because how would you actually know it was a K-bar knife? The actual brand. I mean, I'm sure knife wounds look similar. They don't have a little booklet on them, you know, like, oh, let me compare this one to this. They didn't know what it was until they found the sheath, right? Well, the sheath means it was a K-bar knife, and then they were looking around for a K-bar knife, and then he goes, oh, they must have found the sheath. Now, if he said the sheath, did he say the sheath? That would be suspicious. If he said a sheath, then that would be less suspicious. Because the is referring to the specific, you know, like, but if he said a sheath, that's less suspicious. All right, so that's, what were we at? We were at 7, 6, 5. We need 5 more, right? Is that right? 6, 5, 4. Wait, let me do the math again. Thank you, Charlene. Let's see. Yeah, I think we need 4 more. You said the sheath. Yeah. Well, you know, saying the sheath isn't very good. Because it's like he's referring to the sheath, like, you know, almost like he has intimate knowledge of the sheath, instead of saying, oh, they must have found a sheath there. Or I guess maybe you'd say the sheath of the knife. I don't know. However you want to look at it. I just realized one of your gifted memberships went to Carm. She tried to talk with Gray on StreamYards, had problems, and couldn't call back. Okay, what does that got to do with anything, Sandy? Why do you have to type those long things about that? I mean, like, it's like... Let's see. I don't know where ass came from in my post. I don't know. Let's see. So we need $20 or 4 more $5 memberships. From Zozo with love? I don't even know if that's you. Oh yeah, I guess it is since you're blue. Wonder if he was following their locations on Snapchat. One of the kids mentioned that the girls' phones were still pinging inside the house. Yeah, I think she was just, you know, the word pinging. Yeah, I don't know about that. I think they just said pinging, like, we were calling, and I mean, they wouldn't know if it pinged or not because they're not in law enforcement. But look at that, that's Zozo in there. Judy Grandstrand. Oh, I see what you're saying. You're saying, like, when you're on Snapchat, it can show you where your location is. And then maybe he followed them on Snapchat. I mean, don't you have to be friends with them to be able to get that kind of detail? Or do some people just make it obvious? Yeah. So what's up with the name change? Or is that what you're always called? It's just your @ version. I bet. Would your real name say would it just say Zozo still? Or is that what your original @ symbol was? Or did you change that? Because everybody else in here has weird names. You know, like Michelle H has 1957. Just started doing that last week. All right. Oh, really? Oh. Well, how's it going? Good to see you, Zozo. All right, let me do a. I'll do a poll right here really quick on which one we want to. Yeah. For fishing in the dark. Charity. Let's see. We go to. Oh, there goes my stomach. I'm not looking at your question. Are you familiar? Oh, the psychic TikToker lawsuit regarding this case? Yeah. I didn't see your question. I didn't even see it. It kind of zipped by really fast. Yeah. I remember that in the beginning, like a psychic accused some... I don't know if it was like an attorney or some... They accused some random person of being involved. Is that right? I am somewhat familiar with it. Do you have any information on that when you asked me that question? Or the young lawyer is a woke anti-death penalty. Who? A professor, okay. Yeah, I mean, how stupid are things like that? It just shows you the theories that people had. JLR was running the show on that. I mean, just an embarrassment. But, you know, as long as he's there on the scene, he's the greatest person on the planet. You know, he just, you know, absolutely started that whole flow of crap, and then these other people, you know, the TikToker kept going and going and going, and, you know, I wish they would do it for all of them, you know, honestly. Yeah, I mean, the Idaho 3 Girls Fund, I'm just putting in here. So you can just pick where we're going to send the 300 to. Oh, really? Cool. Sorry I missed your question before. I was trying to... I didn't even read it, unfortunately. And why doesn't the TikToker just settle? I mean, they're not going to win. TikToker standing by claim. Oh my God, really? They're standing by the claims? Hold on. Oh, that was 2023. Okay, well, you know, she should just settle. What's the lawsuit amount? Okay, it looks like we got more to the Texas flood victim. Yeah, I can send more money into that other charity later. This Texas thing's going on now. All right, does anybody know a good, where should we send it in for the Texas, let's see, is there, I mean, we've given to Texas, the Cajun Navy before, they're out there. How about we could do Texas EquiSearch? They're doing it, right? I mean, there's Texas, there's a food relief. I don't know, it's hard to tell, UNICEF out there. What do you guys think we should, where should we send it? There was one mention. Yeah. That one good part of the show, they called out that weirdo. Yeah, and even like a whole bunch of YouTubers are on there. Even Drunk Turkey was on there. All kinds of these people that were doing shows like that. Now he's, got back to like the reality, but a whole bunch of people were on that. They kept showing all the different people. I'm glad I wasn't one of them. How much do you pay to have access to Excel? I don't know. I'm not sure what it is a month to have the Office suite. Probably not that much. Well, her and Betty was shown too. Yeah, they're all part of the same type, the loud, obnoxious. No, not really. Well, the only thing that I thought was mildly interesting in terms of something, sort of related to the investigation was, like I said before, the two officers on the campus who came across his Elantra on the 29th of November. They were looking for a 2011 to 2013 white Elantra, and while they still wrote his name down, it was never moved forward because Kohberger's was a 2015 Elantra. So I thought that was interesting. That wasn't something that we knew before. We just knew that they were in the system. And that was about it. But now it turns out that they weren't elevated because it was a 2015 and the FBI guy. So apparently they were like, okay, that's going to be a 2011 to 13. And later they switched it because you could actually change the windows out of 11 through 16. It just has a little different little light in the back on 15. Did anybody come up with the charity? How about Texas EquiSearch again? They're there. They're looking for bodies, and I mean, that's one that we know they're going to be doing good work. Or is there a fund that like directly goes to the people? What? Huge mistake Moscow made in the narrow window. The Elantra could have caused more loss of life. I don't know what that means. I don't think it was a huge mistake. It's just, they didn't know. It's not a mistake either. That's all they had at the time. And then as they found more surveillance footage, they were able to find one that they could actually determine the precise range in years. Hey, thanks, Love Boston. Gifted a membership. Is nobody going to go out and find... is there a good one for the flood in Texas? I mean, there's a whole bunch of people mentioning it, but I mean, how do we know? Let's see. Maybe Fox News has a good one. Initiated donation to Kerr County Flood Relief Fund. How about that? There you go. Right? Is that the one? Click here for the site. Okay. Jesus. All right, let's do that one. All right, the Donate Now button for Fox News supports the Texas Kerr County Flood Relief Fund. Does that sound good? Right there, this one. Join Fox in supporting the Kerr County Flood Relief Fund. Donations support relief and building efforts in Texas after the flood of July 4th. What a crappy day for that to happen, too. The Community Foundation, 501c public charity serving the Texas Hill Country, will direct funds to vetted organizations providing rescue, relief, and recovery efforts. I'm going to send 500 in, you guys. Despite the lack of enthusiasm by the freaks, that's what I'm going to do. All right, let's see. Kerr County flood relief. Causing in... Okay. Do I go to their website? Or right there? All right there, that button. There we go. Kerr County Relief Fund. Donate now. So if you guys want to help support the channel, that'd be great. I'm going to do what we originally said we were going to do. Alright, there we go. And then I'm going to have to use that. So hold on, I might have to sign in over here. Yep, I'm logging in. And there we go. Look at that. Thanks for donating $500 to the American Online Giving Foundation, Inc., which went to that Kerr County thing. So there you go. We just did it. All right, freaks. And, if you want to help out, so isn't that huge of a difference, that'd be great. Here's the email that came in just now. Right there, 6:38, July 11th, American Online Giving Foundation, Grant Hughes, $500. Boom! There we go. See? Now, if you can name me one other channel out there tonight who donated a nickel using their own income, let me know. Because that's how it all comes out of there. Let's see. Let me go over to this other screen and we can update this one. So now this is 21,500 or 251,500. And then this year I thought I fixed that. 22,500, I guess. It says 51, but maybe it was 51. All right, well, there you go. Awesome. So, during the rest of the show, if you want to help support the channel, that'd be fantastic, because that was 200 more than I was going to do because of the lack of enthusiasm for what we were doing tonight. All right. So there's going to be a Zoom hearing on Thursday. I don't know if I need to... I mean, if that's going to be... Maybe they'll stream the Zoom meeting on their website, and the links to the Zoom are for the people in the Zoom meeting. So I'm hoping that's what the case is. I don't know, though. Yeah. That does kind of look more like how Papa Rogers looks. Like if you put that hat on his head, that's kind of how he'd look from the side. What are you talking about? Tired of it all? I don't know what that means. Those two people complaining about it. Who? I'm not sure what you're talking about. I guess what Zozo was saying earlier is like the Snapchat, if the friends were saying it was pinging in there, yeah, maybe they're looking at their phones and can see the location when they send. So I don't know how Snapchat works. And it shows that their phones are still up in the house. But I'm not sure if, but don't you have to be friends with somebody to get that type of ping location? Yeah, that's funny. I would actually watch the start of that today. It was on, I think it was on TNT, the Midnight Coup. I watched I always like that opening scene where they bring in the Velociraptor, and then they get the little canister to transport the stolen embryos, and then you get the dig site where Hammond shows up, or whatever his name is, and he's offers the fund for another 3 years if they just say some positive words, And then I quit watching, so I had to go help my dad with something. Mm-hmm. All right, so if you watch the special, what is it that you took from it? Did you find anything interesting in there? I know, he didn't need to. He could just see them in the house. I mean, that's true. Yeah. But maybe he could, make sure, follow them like, okay, now they're heading home, right? Like he might have seen that they came home at a specific, like 1:50 and was like, okay, now I'm going to get ready, because he does leave his house only, 40 minutes after, or 50 minutes after they got home. I mean, we could just look at it right here. Let's see. 2:42 is kind of when he was leaving. And, I mean, so it's interesting. I mean, it shows that, I mean, if he was doing that, then he would know that Kaylee and Madison were both home. If he was doing that. Hey, thank you, Timothy Cecil. What's up, freak? It's the weekend, finally. Timothy Cecil, not perfect tilt. Yeah, it was amazing how these friends were so close, and it really ruined. Like one of the kids that was friends with all of them, like they're like best friends. After the murders, she just completely switched to a whole different group of friends, so that they could actually talk about something else. I thought that was kind of sad, It sort of reminds me. Remember when I was always told you that I was friends with Ty Burrell, and we were like really best friends, and then my brother died, and it just kind of everything got different. And then we sort of still communicated, but it just sort of, I just kind of went into a shell and faded away. I think that's easy to do. Hearing from the parents really hit home to remember what an unbelievable nightmare. Yeah, the parents. And I thought like Hunter Chapin, he was interesting because you could see he was just sort of pissed off at all the social media types, and hopefully I'm not one of the ones, in general. I mean, I have communicated with some of the Gonzalez's, and they seem to think that what I do is good, like a good thing. Like I put together things in a logical way, and apparently, I mean, I think he told me one time that he tried to get Bill Thompson to see my videos to say, hey, I hope you guys have something like this, So that's a cool feeling, at least somebody out there. Oh yeah? Huh, I've never used Snapchat like that. Yeah, you just got done with episode 1. Yeah, that one. I think 1 and 2 are the best episodes, and then the rest is just sort of kind of winds down from there. It seems like. Now, first, of course, number 3 starts off with they've arrested Kohberger, and everybody's like, "Who the hell is this guy? Why did he do it?" And there really isn't a why that people would understand. That's the thing. All of them thought it was somebody close to them, like in their inner circle, because especially when they said that it was knives used. They like most people didn't know knives were used for a while. They thought it was guns or something else, and then when they heard it was knives, they all thought, "Oh man, that sounds like something really personal." And that's the thing, is serial killers kill in a way that is personal seeming, but they don't even know the person. They're acting out their personal hatred, like the person they're killing is representing something that they hate. And I guess like Madison Mogan, absolutely represented. He probably was just like Papa Rogers or Elliot Rodger, who he just wanted to be with blondes. And so even when that pretty Korean girl, I think Ko or something was her name, she liked him, but he didn't pick up on it because that's not his type. Now maybe if she dyed her hair blonde, but I don't understand that. He's got something strange with Kohberger's different than, I think he's different than Elliot Rodger, like totally different. I think Kohberger is, I think like, I mean, what do you guys think? It's just really strange. Are you on Rewind, Dixie Hippie? Or yeah, I agree. I would want to be what I think most people in here would want to have Kohberger face justice in a courtroom and get the death penalty, right? I think most people would want that. But it's easy to say when it's not you in that position, right? Because you might be there, and the last 2.5 years have been a nightmare. Every day, wondering, you know, like, okay, what's this court hearing going to do? Oh, God, you know. And you're just wondering. Now there's a finality to it. And there's just no death penalty, but other than that, it's strong as you can get. Right, right. Once he gets into prison, he's going to be toast. That's why, I mean, I guess there's some guy from prison telling people that. Like, none of us knew that. Wow! Some prison guest was able to tell everybody that that Kohberger is not likely to do well in prison. Yeah, well, most people aren't even really talking about it much. It's not going to spoil anything for you. You just watch it. It's like two of the same screen. I thought that was interesting as well, that they shared how social media had affected them. Oh yeah, I mean, they've talked about all of it, you know. And I think even, like, they mentioned how I think the guy named Jack, the other Jack that was in the grub truck video, everybody's like, who's that guy? Like, they thought, like, even the friends thought that that guy looked really suspicious. And, like, they know who he is, but what's he doing there? And, you know, we all thought that. He looked a little odd. But I'll tell you what changed my mind completely was when they showed them all three walking together, and they were just like friends walking back from the corner club. And he's like, you know, they were saying, Kaylee, or, you know, Maddie, what did you say to Adam? I told Adam everything. Yeah, once you see that, you can see, okay, they're walking together, and he is obviously, like, making sure that they're okay. And that made, like, okay, then it just changed the way you think about it. I mean, why would you sit there and still think he was doing something at that point? Now he's not some weirdo that just showed up. I think Kohberger, I think there might be something to him having some sort of autism spectrum. I think there might be something to that. That doesn't mean he doesn't know what right and wrong is. That's all that matters. But he's just, you know, he has that affect. It's not normal. And I think that's probably why he was treated a certain, like, if he was bullied or something, it wasn't because he was overweight, it was because his personality was strange. I mean, just look at it. I mean, he's in court and they're saying all these things and his face never changes, barely blinks. It's weird. I mean, maybe he had something like, I don't know. He does remind me a lot of Adam Lanza, you know. I mean, look at this, kind of just in general way. You see that? You know, just kind of a creepy look like that. See that? And then you get the, let's see, the Kohberger pictures. When was that? The 30th? Should have been about the 30th. I just can't find it. 3, 2, 1. Oh, there. Maybe there. Yeah, there we go. It just kind of has a... I don't know. Like a blank look. I guess that's what I'm trying to go for. Ah, jeez, what a... Makes you just want to punch him, you know? I don't know what it is. That's what it seems like, though. It is the hollow eyes and ear. Yeah, he's got the... Kohberger definitely has what I've said. I've told you guys on the show, when you... It doesn't mean they're always a criminal, but there's a lot of times a sexual deviancy in when somebody has low ears like that. Look at his ears. They're absolutely, like, almost falling off the sides of his face. And whenever you see that, you know, there's something there. Not every single time, but... if you got, it's really kind of a strange commonality. Is anybody here? You guys aren't chatting that much. It's really slow. You got to question the girl's judgment. Let's see if we can get some more channel memberships in here, you guys. We've got a lot of white names in there that aren't in there. Let's see. Present. Is anybody gonna... Let's get one caller tonight. Can we do that? I mean, it's pinned at the top. Hey, thank you, Kira Say. Kira Say. Hey, man, I tell you, I'm having a hard time with the at names. Some are similar, some aren't. Well, let's get one. Come on, call in and tell me what you thought of the special. I don't know what to do with my little booklet that I had. I took a couple notes, but they weren't that... Or, you know, it was one of those things where there wasn't a lot of new, like, whoa, like the Dateline episode. In terms of... It's really kind of odd, right? Because I thought this one was really well done for a sort of like, let's get to know who these people really were and what they went through. And then not a lot of like new, you know, almost no new information about the case, right? But the Dateline episode, for me, was awesome because, and especially if you go back and watch their original one, they actually... In the original Dateline episode regarding this case that you cannot find on their streaming platform anymore, you can hear, there's an audio version of it. They said that the detectives, they believe that Papa Rogers is Brian Kohberger. You know, so that one said that, but the Dateline episode really had Had a lot of stuff in it. I'm hoping Patterson's book, the audio book I got, when that comes out, I'm hoping that that's when we'll get to hear a lot of stuff. But I bet the person who wrote that book is probably frustrated as hell because they went out and got all this information, and then as soon as the gag order is lifted, that all that information is going to come out, and some of the stuff they have will be wrong, kind of like when the Darkness Comes, or whatever the hell the book was by... Who was the guy that wrote that book? He's on all the talk shows now. I forgot his name. Howard Blum. That's right. So Howard Blum, you know, a lot of, like, some of the stuff in the first part of the book was absolutely wrong because new information had come out. So you kind of wonder about, one, like, what were his sources, and then, you know, were they actually experts on the case? Morning of the 911 call. Yeah, it did really well on that. It really kind of, if you watch that and you still have questions about Dylan and Bethany, you're an idiot. And even if you had questions before the episode, you're an idiot. All right? The thing is, it absolutely answered it all. And by the way, Hunter is the one, as we were talking about earlier, he's the one that said that, oh, it looks like somebody's passed out, and that's why Dylan said that. So when people go, how come they said it was passed out? You would have seen, you know, no, they didn't. They didn't see anything. They didn't see anything. Hunter went up there the first time, and he came out and said, you know, don't go up there, don't go up there. And I guess he, like, mouthed something to somebody else, like they're not breathing or something. And then he made the girls call 911. It was Bethany's phone. Bethany was on the phone first. And then Dylan got on the phone. And that's when Emily, she even says in here, took over. And, you know, she had different words that were said than what we heard. You know, just different things. And it's just crazy. I just never understood it. The questions after questions. I thought it was great to be able to, you know, hear the 911 call and start to debunk it. But, you know, the Kohbergers, there isn't a conspiracy they can't invent. So even after you hear the 911 call and how obvious everything was, they come up with something else. Well, he might have been talking about the victim's blood, Michelle. But yeah, there was just stuff at the beginning of the book that were factually inaccurate. 3 different times. And then later in the book, it was stuff that I didn't know about. So I don't know what was accurate. You know, and that's one of the problems when you're on YouTube and you're watching some of these creators out there. They tell you these things, and then you just sort of believe them because they're YouTubers. Why would they lie? But the thing is once you realize, like, for example, the UK guy, the clown, the Embry guy, all those people lied to their viewers for 2 years straight intentionally because they knew that their viewers wanted to see videos on how innocent Brian Kohberger was. So I guess those people don't mind that he lied to them. They lied to them because that's what they wanted to hear. But I don't know why anybody would ever go back and watch another video from any of those people when you know that they filled you with nothing but BS for years, and they did it intentionally. That's absolutely mind-boggling that you would ever go back in there again hoping for some good information coming in, because you're not going to get it. Gray, why do you complain? I don't know, man. I'm sick of it. I am so sick of it, you guys. I mean, I bust my ass to put out factual information. I try to go find it somewhere. People help me get information. And that just doesn't work, man. You got to be a conspiracy nut job on YouTube for people to watch religiously. I mean, a large number of people. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. But it looks like everybody's already left because I haven't seen a new comment in like 10 minutes. So I think I'm going to get the hell out of here. The plan blood, the one... I can't read what you're saying, Michelle. It's too many... No, he said something. He planed blood, the one that on the staircase they found, and the glove. Oh, planted maybe, or... Okay. He said he planted blood on the one... Oh, yeah, I don't know. I don't remember him saying that. Yeah. Right, so you guys want me to start selling bullshit? Okay. That's what I thought. Call was made up AI. Oh yeah, and the clown, he's saying that wasn't even Kohberger in court. Because see how he looks different here? It wasn't him. You guys, this is a clone of Kohberger. In fact, if you look right there, there's this huge, whatever that is, that's actually where they injected his face into whatever this was. Right, Zozo? He put a needle into that hole there, and then there was like this little mold there, and he squirted Kohberger's face in there. It's awesome. Told him they lied and attacked the victims and the families, and they were... Yeah, but I mean... Yeah, Jay Embry said it was his job to prove Kohberger is innocent, after his viewers got angry when he said, well, I now think Kohberger... was there, but I think there was other people too. And they went, how dare you? I've been following you for so long, and you said he didn't do it. Then he goes, well, okay. You know, it's my job to prove that Kohberger didn't do it. He probably lit up like a Christmas tree. Because now he knows he can just create all kinds of content for years and years and years while Kohberger languishes in prison, admitting to killing all of the victims. He's going to still make videos and say how he's innocent. He'll probably, at some point, connect him to the Kennedy assassination as well as MLK. I don't know. Some people say that he's got like a bulletproof vest on under there or something. I don't see it myself. I mean, maybe there's something under there. Maybe, like, if you look at this one, I mean, is that something? I don't know. God, what a psycho. And by the way, look at his eyebrows. They're just so shaved off. It almost looks like he doesn't even have any eyebrows anymore. Now let's ask ChatGPT, hey, where did Kohberger's eyebrows go? He doesn't seem... Let's see what it says. ChatGPT. Where did Kohberger's eyebrows go? They seem to be shaved off. Answer: saved off in recent photos. Answer: in bro mode. Let's see what it says. Just give it one shot.
Bro, you noticed too? Like, where the hell did Kohberger's caterpillars go? We went from bushy eyebrow boss mode to I lost a bet at a frat party real quick. Those things used to enter the courtroom before he did, and now, gone. Vanished. Like he took a big razor to his dignity and just said, let's start over. You remember how Dylan Mortensen was like I saw bushy eyebrows? That was the main character energy of this whole case. His brows were basically co-defendants, and now he's out here looking like a surprised thumb. Either he's pulling a reverse disguise move, shave the evidence, bro. Jail life hit different and he's out here stress shedding like a molting bird. Or the brows are hiding, waiting for trial so they can testify as hostile witnesses. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they shaved themselves off to disassociate from him. Like, we ain't going down for this, bro. We were just chilling above his eyes. Free the brows, or at least subpoena them.
You know what's cool about that is it seemed to remember our previous conversations. That's pretty good. Look at the raptor in the cleaver. Girl seen from Jurassic Park. It looks like him. I don't know, man. Yeah. Alright. Well, anyways, you guys, if you want to support the channel, that'd be great. I'm going to take off the... I don't have any more to discuss. Seems like everything's just... Nothing... Nobody's commenting on the show, really. Maybe tomorrow would be better to talk about it for a while. I'm sure, like, it came out at midnight. People had to go to work, and then when you get off of work, maybe they can watch the special. So maybe tomorrow would be better to talk about it. I love that voice. I think it's a perfect voice for ChatGPT. It's not AI. It's actually... Well, it's AI, but that has nothing to do with ChatGPT. It's actually a different program that just happens to read the text on the screen. All right. All right. Well, thank you to... Looks like Lisa took off. Probably went and watched some other show going on. Thanks to Emily Marie, East Texas Grandma, Sandy Shirley, KMTX78, DDVMWA, Love Boston, HDoc6656, Jarth Vader, CR, Texas Peg P, Michelle H, CR, Richard Watts, Wonder Woman gifted a membership, Love Boston, The Way, The Truth, Thilig. Don't know what that means. And then Tracy, I'll just say, or Trajan Talk, or Tracy, I don't know. Tracy Ann Talk, maybe. Love Boston, Kaylin Maine, Misdemeanor 2637, Jody H, Sia Parker 9217, RMBMR, new member, Dave Mack, Love Boston, CR, Dixie Hippie, Alpine Gulch, Teresa, Tired of It All, Sandy Shirley, Dixie Hippie, Love Boston, We Say Howdy Here, Mustang Sally, Mindy Mouse, Love Boston, Gifted 5, Oh Really Bish, KMTX, Mustang Sally gifted a membership, then Charlene, Judy Grandstrand gifted 5, then Love Boston gifted 1, and then Perfect Tilt, which is Timothy Cecil, and Kira Say 1384. Thanks. And then we had over here Lisa Valenzuela and Joseph Brennan with the coffees. And I think that a Venmo from Alley Cake. Thank you. So we gave $500 tonight to the Kern County, Texas sort of relief fund, I guess, through Fox. So there you go. We're still making a difference out there. Pretty cool, pretty cool. All right, so thank you all very much for watching. I'm going to put out a video tomorrow that's going to have the whole, my alternate route, but it's the 360 degree. Like after the homicides, it went east on Palouse River Drive and then all the way through. And then you can watch it and try to figure out if you think there's a place in there where maybe I'd love to know where Kohberger says he put the knife. And then try to go look for it. Except they would look for it first. But anyways, thanks for all being here tonight and helping to support the channel so that we can do an active donation tonight. I know it wasn't the most interesting show in the world. I think a lot of people just hadn't seen the special yet. Now that I think about it, they probably didn't do what I did and wait till midnight and then watch 2 of the episodes and then get up in the morning and watch 2 of them. So anyways, thanks everybody. And good to see you, Zozo. Missed you in here. And by the way, her kid's a really good footy player. He's like, he's pretty small, but he can like kick the ball a mile and runs around with it. I don't know if he knows how to do the punching pass kind of thing that they got. Yeah, but anyways, thanks everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. I've been trying to walk like 4 miles a day
for quite a while
4
now.
point something.
And during this whole time, I have not seen one
I was
person
eating too many ding dongs and
that
Twinkies.
is a crime dissector, flag rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher. You can try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Gray is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector. Animal is gonna be a protector. Fool deflector, interceptor. And I'm here with a spectre with a vector on his pector with all the spectrum. Just remember, I have a temper fucking checker. I have no agenda. I'm no pretender. And I'll send it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody?
All right. Be safe out there. And thanks, everybody.